What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Regina, and yes, the lies absolutely necessary. And I don't know, did we? I don't know, something just jumped. But again, I'm Regina, and yes, the lies absolutely necessary. And child, I apologize about being later than expected. I had some business to handle, and I got back a little late. But nevertheless, here we are. Recapping day 7 of USA versus Sean Combs, aka the Diddy trial. And so before we get started, I have an Astroglide fund in honor of the evidence and everything that we have seen. And, they put us all in Diddy's business. I just thought it was fitting for me to start a fund for Astroglide Lube. And you can send it to Cash App, $Lingerie, the number 1. Okay, so this is my Astroglide fund in honor of covering this trial. I figured I would get something out of it. Either way it go, $1, $2, whatever. But now, in all seriousness, please support independent journalism. Okay, so thank y'all for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, you listen. I tell people all the time. I don't mind if people catch the replay. So I'm gonna be talking even if it's nobody here. I'm gonna be talking because I know people gonna catch the replay. And y'all need, side note, quick. If you want to go live and you feel like you got something worth saying, it's okay if people not watching at that moment. I'm telling you, the blessing really be in the replay. Just like if you in sales, the money is in the follow up. Nevertheless, let's get right to it. So we got day 7 of testimony, and today we heard from Cassie's mama, Regina Ventura. We heard from the assistant David James. And then we also heard from Special Agent Gerard Gannon. And then we heard from the Punisher, bitch. An escort. He's quite the character, isn't he? So let me start off by saying, y'all know that we have this is a RICO case. 2 counts of sex trafficking, 2 counts of transporting people for the sake of to engage in prostitution, and 1 count of racketeering. And a lot of people, what I've been getting in the comments, is especially on IG, a lot of people are asking, how does this prove anything? How is this a crime? So when you have RICO cases, you have to show a pattern, number 1, right? And there also has to be an enterprise. Now, some people are asking, who is the enterprise? Because you can't form an enterprise by yourself. So technically, the enterprise would be Diddy's security guards, those who help him commit these alleged crimes. However, as you can see, Diddy is the only one on trial. I haven't heard of anybody else being tried. Who knows at this point? And I would like to say that in recent years, well, first of all, let's go all the way back. The RICO was created to take down, the mafia group. It's basically one big umbrella, and I'm going to keep repeating this so people can understand it. It's one big umbrella that consists of so many crimes: sex trafficking, prostitution, murder, attempted murder, drugs. Like it's this big umbrella for so many charges looped together so they can find you guilty of something. So you may not be guilty over here, but we're going to get you over here. Like it's so many things. And one way to prove this is you have to show a pattern. You have to have people to testify that you did do this. You have, like, for instance, let me see, Cassie's mama. We're gonna talk about Cassie's mama. For instance, let me just do a segue. So we have to talk about, we have to show these things. So when you all hear about people testifying and, they did a little bit over here and they heard a little bit over here, maybe you think it's not an actual crime in itself, but they are establishing a pattern. The government is now establishing the racketeering portion. Because today we heard a lot about, buying drugs from him and then Bad Boy Records paying people back. We heard a lot about coercion, force, intimidation with the whole, with Cassie's mama, threats and the sex tapes and all of that. So now we are establishing the actual Rico of the Rico. So let's get into it. So Cassie's mama, and she's so pretty. Cassie's mama, so Cassie is mixed with, if I'm not mistaken, Filipino, Mexican, and black. If I'm not mistaken, her daddy is Filipino, and her mama is black, and is her mama black and Mexican? I can't remember because I looked it up because I was just trying to see, because I know she was mixed with something, but I just couldn't remember everything. So Cassie's mama, walked in the court. You can tell that she real. You know how like you got a grandma who act her age, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? She had her shawl on. The typical. She looked like one of those people that work at like a doctor's office, a receptionist or something, like the office manager of an office. Like that's how when I see that, that's how she looks to me. So I understand she basically substantiated what Cassie testified to last week, and she also added more details. So last week, Cassie did talk about how Diddy found out that she and Kid Kudi they were dating. They had something going on. And he found this out during a freak off. I guess Cassie and them must got a break because during the break of one of the freak offs, she was emailing Capricorn. I cannot think of Capricorn last name, but Capricorn was somebody who, and I've spoken about her before, I believe like the first day of testimony or maybe the second day of testimony, but Capricorn is someone who used to work for Diddy. She's a black girl. At the time, the picture that they had, it's an undated picture. She had like short hair, not like shaved, not like a pixie cut short, but it was shorter. She had what did she have? She like brown skin, like the everyday girl. You know what I'm saying? So she worked for Diddy. Somehow or another, I guess I'm assuming, this is me assuming, her and Cassie, they developed some type of relationship because Cassie testified that Capricorn knew about Kid Kudi, right? So somehow or another during the freak off, she's going through her emails, you know what I'm saying? And mind you, these freak offs lasted for long periods of time. They can last between 1 to 2 days, up to 4 days, or even more. So it could be multiple, men. Like one time, a couple of quotes from Diddy. A couple of quotes from Cassie to Diddy was like, basically she was tired because it was a lot of dicks and a lot of partying, you know what I'm saying? So it could be multiple men at a time, 3 or 4 men. So in all of this, you know what I'm saying, we got the room is dark. We got candles, we got baby oil because Cassie said it was everything was oily. So in the middle of the freak off, the astroglide, the baby oil, the donuts being oily, the couches being oily, piss all over the floor. They used to pee and stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? Cassie decided to check her email in this very chaotic room. And while she was checking her email, Diddy saw it. Okay? He saw it, got irate. And he just, spazzed out on Cassie, right? So Cassie, and he threatens Cassie. She testified that he said that he would leak her sex tapes. Mind you, every freak off video that they recorded, it was inferred that Diddy one can infer, and it was implied that Diddy was not in every freak off video, right? So he allegedly threatened Cassie to leak the video. So Cassie sent an email to her mama. She sent an email to her mama, Regina, and to Capricorn. And it basically, let me see, do I have this? It basically read that, I got like notes after notes after notes after notes. And this is during the first week of testimony. Damn. Okay. No, it's not this page. I'm trying to hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me find my notes. I'm trying to find my notes because I want to read this email. Oh, hold on. I got it right here. Here we go. Hold on, I'm coming, y'all. And this is an old ass. This is from December the 23rd, 2011. Okay? The subject was threats. It was to Capricorn and her mama. 5:35 p.m. It reads, the threats that have been made towards me by Sean Puffy Combs are that he is going to release 2 explicit sex tapes of me. One on Christmas Day, maybe before or right after another one sometime soon after that. He has also said that he will be having someone hurt me in Scott Muscuddy, that's aka Kid Kudi, physically, and then in parentheses it has, he made a point that it wouldn't be by his hands. He actually said he'd be out of the country when it happened. She sent this from her iPhone, right? And so I actually got a picture of the email. I'm just going to, flash it out here because the beautiful thing about being a journalist, or the beautiful thing about being able to pull documents, is that you can just, have them for your viewers. And I post this on my page. But this is the email that she sent. Y'all see how old this looks? Oh, hold on. I got a lot of screen. Sure, I had to make sure. Speaking of sex, I had to make sure I wait. I had to make sure I had none of my own shit, Anywho, I cracked myself up. Anyway, so this is the email that she sent. But see, like, this from 2011, y'all. See how old this is? This is like an old Instagram post. You remember how you used to post on Instagram? Anyway, that's the email. So when in terms of thinking about like when did this happen and how long ago this been, you got to think all the way back. Anyway, so she sent that email, and so fast forward to today. This is what Cassie testified to last week. Cassie's mama, Miss Regina, came and she substantiated those claims, but she also added a little bit of extra to it. She told us more. She stated that she received an email from my mom. I don't know if it was an email, but she received communication from Diddy, and he stated he wanted his money back. Okay. So, side note, let me say this. So when Cassie got that email, when Cassie sent that email, Cassie was on her way. She then went to Connecticut. She's from Connecticut. She went home to her family. She was spending holidays with her family because remember, she didn't spend holidays with Diddy. She really didn't even have a relationship with his kids because according to her, according to stuff that she testified to, Diddy really had her feeling like she was just good for freak offs. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like she really couldn't be seen in public as the girlfriend. She was jealous of Kim. Hell, Gina, the one who was arguing with Young Miami during the pandemic, and Young Miami said she was a eater or whatever. She was in the mix. So Cassie really just felt like she was not integrated into his life. She was just this little freak off, right? And so, Cassie mama stated that Diddy demanded $20,000 from Cassie's mama because it was recoup money. At that point, Diddy felt like he wanted his money back that he spent on Cassie, right? Now, mind you, at this point, they had been dating for 4 years because they dated from 2007 to 2018. And if you recall, Cassie met Diddy through Ryan Leslie, who was a producer at the time, and her boyfriend. Cassie was 18. Ryan Leslie was 10 years older than her, or maybe 8, but it was between 8 to 10 years older than her, and she had been with him for 5 years. She had been with him for 3 years. Remember, I told you last week, every man that Cassie has been connected to, she has met through the first one. Like, all her men are connected, right? So Cassie's mama said, y'all, excuse me, if I'm breathing like Big Bertha, excuse me, I got a little cold or something. Being in New York, being around people and stuff like that, it really, You know, it done did something to me. So I hope I ain't breathing like Big Bertha, but if I'm sounding like a big ass, excuse me, I hope I don't sound like that, child. But anyway, charge it to my head and not my heart, because I'm really trying to breathe and still give y'all this tea, okay? That y'all been waiting on. Anywho, um, Cassie wrote an email to. Okay, so I fast forward. Okay, I already did that part. So anywho, he wanted recoup money. He wanted his money back, right? He felt like Cassie was a bad investment. You know what I'm saying? According to Diddy, he put all this money into her, even though she only had "It's Just Me and You." And Sammy, if you like it, how that song go? Anyway, it don't even matter. That was from Ryan Leslie. Ryan Leslie wrote that song. Anyway, and what other songs does Cassie have? Do y'all? Side note: Cassie was about to go on tour. She testified she was gonna go on tour, and when she said that, I looked and I said, "Where you going? Who gonna show up?" But then she said New Zealand and Australia, and I said, "Oh, okay, they don't give a damn. They just want anybody black on stage singing." Nevertheless, that's not even what we discussing. Let me keep the main thing. So anyway, Cassie's mama and her daddy took out a home equity loan. You know what's interesting? Cassie came from a 2-parent home, and not saying girls who don't come from 2 parents homes don't have issues, but I really find it interesting that Cassie really wanted to be loved. Because she even talked about how Diddy's security guards and his friends were her friends, and she felt like they were family. Like, she was really all in and wanted to be integrated as such. It was almost like she didn't have that growing up. I would love to know more about her family dynamic. Like, how close was she really with her mama? Because Cassie always liked older men, and it always seemed like she just wanted to belong to somebody. She wanted to be with somebody. She wanted somebody to claim her. She wanted the public validation. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's just stuff that all that stuff, the way you raise and stuff, really does play a role in every aspect of your life. So it just makes me think. Anyway, so her mama testifies that Cassie and her father, Miss Regina and Cassie's father took out a home equity loan to pay the $20,000 to Diddy because, and I'll quote, "I was physically sick," Regina Ventura stated. "I did not understand it. The sex tape threw me. He was trying to hurt my daughter." You know, when somebody is threatening to do something to your children, you know how you go in mama mode. Hell, somebody do something to your friend or your mama. So it's like, at this point, whatever you need me to do, I'm gonna do it. And so a lot of people are like, "Oh, what did he gonna do with $20,000?" I mean, probably nothing. But he wanted to make let's throw a theory out there. Let's throw a theory out there. What if he what if he made a demand for $20,000 for some reason to let Cassie know that he wasn't playing with her, or what if he was trying to do this to teach Cassie a lesson? Because let's be clear, Cassie met Kid Kudi through Diddy. He booked studio time for her and Kid Kudi to make a song together. So what if he was like, "Oh, yo, you're not gonna play me, you know what I'm saying? I done brought this, up in here," and that, like some men really get like that. What if? Again, I'm not assuming. Let's just throw theories out there. What if, right? And the reason what made me say that theory is because a few days later, so anyway, they ended up sending him the $20,000. They received some type of email, some type of communication from somebody from his team that stated, how to wire the money, where to wire it to. They received instructions. And then randomly, 4 or 5 days later, Diddy sent it back. So it would seem like a power play, right? Like, my nuts bigger than yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me remind you who's boss type stuff, right? So then outside of that, Cassie also testified that her mother took photos of when he abused her. So she had, I believe, something on her thigh, a dark bruise on her thigh. Then she had something like right above her back, right at the top of her butt. She had a bruise there. And her mother said that she took the photos to memorialize the bruises that her daughter had on her body. So she wanted to document it. She wanted to keep a record of it. She wanted to acknowledge it. Um, so that was really all that she had. I think the she wasn't even on the stand for an hour. And I think the main thing for me was that there was absolutely no cross. Diddy's lawyer got up, Mark Anifalo, and he's the main lawyer. He's also FYI, he's also handling the guy who killed the United Healthcare CEO guy. Um I'm sorry, y'all. Was people talking outside, but he's also handling the Mark Anifalo. He's the white guy with the glasses. He and his wife are also working on the guy who killed the United Healthcare worker. I believe his name is Luigi. Did I say that right? So that's interesting. I would have actually met her the other day in the elevator, and her mama, that they look exactly the same. Anyway, that's just a little bit of information that you don't even have to. It ain't nothing to do with it right now, right? So anyway, as you can see, like this just establishes the force, the coercion. Like you force somebody, you are intimidating, you are blackmailing people. You are saying, Diddy is allegedly said, if you don't do this, um, if you don't do this, then I'm going to do this. Y'all, that is against the law. That's against the law. Even when you do it with your little ragged ass $40. You know what I'm saying? We know people that try to they got revenge porn. Everyday men, everyday women try to blackmail people when it comes to photos. So don't let it be far fetched or hard to believe, or just kind of open up your mind a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this is true. This is what's alleged, and I'm not here to say what's true and what's not true. I'm just here to present the facts. But what I see on social media, some people just want to be. It's like outside of the realm of possibility. No, it's not. No, it's not. Yeah, he got a lot of money. Why would he do it? But that's even more of a reason to do it, because you got a lot of money. You can get away with stuff. You know what I'm saying? People are people, regardless if they got a penny to their name or they got $100 million. Or in this case, he was worth what, 300, no, 400 something billion, and now he's worth 300 something. Oh no, 400 something million. I think now he's worth like 340 million. It's anyway, he worth a lot of damn money, right? So let's not act like this is not out of the realm of possibility, because Diddy doesn't need the 20,000. But what he can do is intimidate you. You know how nervous they must have been to go to the bank and ask for a home equity loan? Hell, what if they never got approved, child? Then what would happen? What if they never got approved? Like, let's just explore this. Can you imagine somebody saying, "Hey, if you don't give me $20,000, like if you don't give me $20,000, I'm finna show the world what your coochie look like, bitch." Nigga, what? How you even know that's the version I want the world to see? What if I want waxed? Or what if I, how like you get waxed and then like you got that in between hair stage? Like what if it look like that? Like what if it look like no? What if it just look like no? And then especially at the freak off, after that bit done beat, you got people like the Punisher, but you want to talk about him next, was the escort, pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding, and you want to show people what I look like? Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just, so like, to have your most vulnerable moments, how nasty they may be, even if you did agree to be filmed or whatever with your boyfriend, your husband, your side piece, your girl, whatever, you don't want the world to see that. But just imagine. So he didn't. It's not the fact that he needed some money. Again, let's just open. Let's just, if this is alleged, let's walk through this theory. It's not the fact that he needed the $20,000. It could have been, or what if it was the fact that, I can make these hoes sweat. Let me remind Cassie who the fuck in charge. Because ain't no way you fucking with a nigga that I introduced you to and I paid for y'all to be in the studio together. Oh, bitch, you got me fucked up. Come on now. Because Lil Ray and Tony be down at the shipyard fighting over the same piece of coochie. Like, let's have a conversation. Come on, let's open up the realm of like it's not outside of the scope of possibility. Like it's not unheard of. People do this all the time. So there was no cross. And my theory is maybe they didn't just want to open up them can of worms. I mean, he really just introduced himself. Hello, good afternoon, and we have no further questions. And I'm thinking to myself, could he ask her, can you produce, like, she didn't have any record of any of this. And just as somebody who thinks she's a defense attorney anyway, in my head, especially when I'm watching my true crime stories, can you produce this? Do you know if you talk to a man or a woman? Did he force you to send this? Or did he say, I would like for you to send me? Or please send it at a later date? Maybe that's what I would have, inquired about. Not sure if it would have made a difference, but I would have tried to have shown that it wasn't forced. It was like, give me my money back, but I'm not forcing you to. But whatever. No cross. She was not even on the stand for an hour. She definitely established the force part, intimidation, so on and so forth. So let's move right along. We're gonna go to the Punisher child. Now, the other day, some of the evidence that we are getting is being released basically a week later at this point. Because we saw a picture of the Punisher last week. I want to say the Punisher was in the first group of men that we saw, because let me see, we saw 6 men. We saw pictures of, okay, she can't remember his name, but they had sex in Vegas and LA. We saw a picture of Dave. We saw a picture of Daniel. We saw a picture of Jules. Jules was one of the favorites. Well, okay, hold on. Let me not say that. He was one of the regulars that they had sex with. I don't want to say favorites because nobody said that. The Punisher testified today. Do y'all hear that? Can y'all see me? Okay. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't know who the fuck playing music like it's 2010 and we at the club partying like a month. But no, I don't know who doing that. This ain't 2008 bitch partying like a rock star. Anyway, let me keep going. So then we got Johnny. Yeah, so now we got the Punisher. Okay, cool. So the Punisher is very interesting. Cassie testified that she doesn't know his real name, but he is brown skin, bald. I told y'all Diddy like brown. He like bald headed men. Okay, the reason why I say Diddy like bald headed men is because Cassie would go on Backpage and Craigslist and eventually Cowboys for Angels, an escort company, and she would pick out the men or take pictures of men, right? And then Diddy would choose the men. Diddy has had at the time, all of this is alleged. Cassie testified that Diddy said he wanted black men with big dicks. Well, she said penises, okay? So the Punisher's bald head. He had a really nice smile, and he's from New York. That's where they had sex with him at, New York. So this one wasn't even sex trafficking. This was just prostitution because they paid him for sex. So the Punisher said that let me see. His real name is Sheree Hayes. I guess that's how you pronounce it. And what was interesting in like the first escort's testimony, Daniel, from the first week of testimony, he also had erectile dysfunction. I'm just going to go through the similarities first. He had erectile dysfunction when he first showed up to meet Cassie. Cassie told him that her husband would be in the room and that they were to use baby oil. And for this meetup, they were to create some type of sexy scene. And then the same with she would meet up with this guy. They would meet up with this guy 8 to 12 times. So the first time they met at the Trump Towers, well, Trump International Hotel in 2012. Cassie opened the door. She had on a wig, which was something that she would always wear, a robe, and nothing underneath. And stated that she did not want to dance. She wanted him to perform a sexy scene with baby oil for her husband, just like I said, who would also be in the room. But Cassie told him, like, never mind him, like, don't he there, but don't really acknowledge him, right? So the for Daniel said the escort number one said Daniel stated that Diddy had on a bandana. Well, baby, Diddy upgraded to a veil. Only thing you could see was his eyes. And so he came in with the veil and Astroglide in his hand. And speaking of Astroglide, I got an Astroglide fund in honor of me covering this very sad trial, but it also has like these crazy ass moments in this trial. So make sure that you cash out me $ Lajane 1 because I'm trying to get enough Astroglide for my next sex scene that I want to create with my man. Okay, so go ahead and just send the cash out so you can continue to support independent journalism because I'm bringing it to y'all. I'm giving it to y'all. Even as I'm sounding like Big Bertha, my nose is stopped up. I want to make sure that y'all get what you need, and I want to make sure I get what I need because I need some Astroglide. Anyway, moving right along. He said that when Diddy hit the corner, he was like, damn. Well, he didn't say damn, but I'm embellishing. But he was like, he recognized Diddy. He's a fan of Diddy's because he was like, ironically, I am a fan and follow him on Instagram. Can you imagine your favorite celebrity or somebody that you like or listen to, you show up and they want to see your ding-a-ling? Can you imagine? Like, that's crazy, right? So the sessions will start in the wee wee. So like 3 or 4 in the morning. Sometimes he would get a last minute notice. Sometimes they would last for hours. They would last for days. He said a session could even last for like hold on, let me make sure I got this right. Yeah, last for days and hours. They met up around 8 to 12 times. He was paid $2,000 for the first encounter. Now this is what's interesting. So I'm going to the erectile dysfunction part. The first escort stated that he developed erectile dysfunction with them because he heard Diddy hitting Cassie one time, slapping Cassie in the room, and that turned him off. So whenever Diddy was in the room, he had problems performing, and eventually he stopped, working with them because he just could not develop an erection because of Diddy, essentially. This same guy comes back and says he also developed erectile dysfunction, not because, like he said, he never saw Diddy hit her. He never saw Diddy hit Cassie. He also never, he said that Cassie, while he was there, seemed like Cassie was into it. It seemed like consensual sex, according to him, while he was there. It didn't seem like Cassie was forced. But I want to get to this part. This man wrote a help book about erectile dysfunction, and it's called In Search of Freezer Meat. So when he was crossed, Xavier Donaldson, who is also one of the member, he's also a lawyer of the 10 lawyer team for Diddy. Diddy now has a 10th lawyer that just got added to the case, I think, yesterday. He was cross-examining him, and he was like, so I can't remember exactly what was stated, but Xavier was like, so are you talking about freezer meat? Like basically saying hard as meat or something to that effect. Nevertheless, the Punisher said, what's harder than freezer meat? And I said, damn, can you imagine taking like a block of ground beef, a hamburger meat, and hit somebody in the head? Frozen pack of ground beef and hit somebody in the head? Like, that's pretty hard. So like I said, this man is a character, people, y'all. The man is a character. But anywho, He also wrote about his experiences with Cassie and Diddy. He never stated their names, but he only refers to them as a married, wealthy couple. So that was the escort. So again, he really didn't as personally. Okay, I'm not gonna say personally. Journalistically, when I look at my notes, he didn't add anything. He just substantiated claims, but he didn't add anything. He said it was consensual. And that he did confirm the prostitution. He got paid $2,000 for for his services. So then we have David James, which is, in my opinion, well, no, my opinion does not matter. We have David James, and he was an assistant for Combs from 2007 to 2009. He testified to the same thing Cassie already stated, and the same thing you all have already seen pictures of. The Louis Vuitton medicine bag, the Louis Vuitton bag that that Cassie stated was Diddy's medicine bag. James stated that he would buy drugs for Diddy, but would later be reimbursed by Bad Boy and Diddy security. Pause. If you are buying drugs for somebody and they pay you through their company, they reimburse you through their company, that is racketeering. Okay. Now, racketeering is the only charge. I believe that's 15 years. So off top, Diddy is at least guilty of racketeering because allegedly, if the jurors believe this, Diddy is guilty of racketeering because one of his employees paid for drugs on his behalf and then he reimbursed them. Okay. And so he stated that in the Louis Vuitton bag, you will have 25 to 30 pills, drugs and ecstasy, Percocet, baby oil, lubricant. Lord, I couldn't talk. What the hell going on? Lubricant, condoms. Let me tell you, they didn't really mention condoms during this trial. So when I hear condoms, I'm like, wait a minute, what? Because they was beating that thing down without condoms. So apparently, maybe here go a theory. Maybe they purchased condoms and they didn't use them all the time. You know how like y'all have a condom on the nightstand, but y'all be kissing and touching and rubbing on that baby oil, and it just you forget the condom and it just slide in. I'm just saying, maybe that's what happened. Um, Anywho, Cassie did testify that. Oh, hold on, no. Let me no. I'm going out of order. So then, James talked about because his name was David James. He talks about he talks about. Let me see. David James talks about how Diddy and his entourage called themselves trying to run up on Suge Knight at Mel's Diner in L.A. Let's backtrack. Cassie testified about the same thing. Cassie actually said that they were having a freak off in L.A. D-Rock, who has been named multiple times in this trial, he is part of Diddy's security, who is actually, but Raheem, no, D-Rock is Diddy's driver, I think. Maybe he acts as security too, I don't know. But D-Rock came in the room and was like, hey, Suge at Mel's, like, let's go. And so Diddy get packed up and went to the diner. Cassie said she was really nervous. And Diddy handed Cassie a gun. Cassie didn't even go, so I'm not sure like what that meant. But they took mushrooms that night and they were so high. Nothing really. That's all to what Cassie testified to. So fast forward to James testifying today. He stated that it was about 4 a.m. He was ordered to drive Diddy and a security guard to Mel's Diner in Los Angeles. looking to confront Suge Knight. Um, Diddy was in the back with three handguns in his lap. By the time they got there, Suge was gone, which explains why Cassie, like nothing else was added to that when she was testifying. And James said that prompted him to get the hell on. I believe he gave like a notice and he had to train the new assistant for like 6 months. He said that Diddy would somehow get prescriptions prescribed in David James's name. He never gave Diddy authorization to do that. He was just saying that, and one time he overheard Cassie just basically saying, how can I get out? This man pays for everything. So he spoke about what he overheard Cassie saying, but he also spoke about fraud and racketeering. You know what I'm saying? So here again, the prosecution is building the RICO case. They're building the RICO case. So tomorrow or either Thursday, um, oh, uh, on cross, let me say this. On cross, the defense was asking, um when James traveled with Diddy, was it personal or business? And James was like, it was a fine line. He also testified so that James says that he allegedly took a that he saw. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. That he took an X pill that was the shape of Obama's face. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was kind of wild. I guess the whole Obama's face part, like what they in there doing, eating Flintstones. You know what I'm saying? How like the little Flintstone vitamins. Anyway, um, so the defense asking him that is trying to, um, there one can say, okay, they're trying to let it be known that he was not doing anything business related. He was on his personal time. So these funds are not from his quote unquote business. You know what I'm saying? Trying to again, the prosecution, that's just a theory I have. Nobody said it. It's just a theory I have. But the prosecution has the burden to bear. In every single case, the prosecution, whether you're on judge the jury, whether you are state crime, whether you got a state trial, whether you got a federal trial. It's the prosecution's burden to bear. They have to prove that you are guilty. The only thing the defense has to do. They don't have to necessarily prove your innocence. They have to make the jury say, he is a monster. He is freaky. He does, da da da. He does love baby oil. Apparently, there is some addiction with drugs. Apparently, he does like bald headed escorts. Apparently, maybe he did tell Cassie to get black men with big penises. He does, he had a very big domestic violence problem. But is he guilty on a RICO basis? Is he guilty with that? You know what I'm saying? They have to cast the doubts. Okay? So tomorrow or even Thursday, Kid Kudi is supposed to testify. Now again, the first part of this of when I first started the Cassie Ventura situation, um Regina Ventura, I'm sorry, Cassie's mama, spoke about the $20,000 that she was demanded allegedly by Diddy to Swire because Diddy wanted his recoup money. So basically, Kid Kudi is a result of this. So long story short, Kid Kudi, Cassie met while supposed to be working on the song while they was in the studio together. They clicked. Cassie said she even got a burner phone just for Kid Kudi because she did not want Diddy to know about them messing around. They didn't date that long. Cassie said they dated for like a month. I was surprised because Cassie also testified that same after Diddy beat her ass for, what I'm saying, messing with him because he put bruises on her back and all of that. If I'm not mistaken, I gotta double check my notes, y'all. But if I'm not mistaken, when Diddy found out about Kid Kudi, he kicked Cassie in the back. I believe that's what she said. So anyway, she went home to Connecticut because again they did not spend holidays together. I'm repeating myself here, but just in case somebody just got here, they did not spend holidays together. So Cassie went home to Connecticut and she spent the holiday with Kid Cudi and her family. But at the same time, she broke up with Kid Cudi as well. So she stated that Diddy had threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car, and she in her lawsuit she said that Kid Cudi's car actually was blew up, and she testified that Diddy wanted his friends to be in the driveway to witness his car blow up, and that he would be out of town when this happened. So yeah, so tomorrow we got more witnesses, possibly Cudi coming on the stand, or even possibly on Thursday. And I will keep y'all informed. Again, sorry for the late video. Just had to work a few things out. But thank y'all so much for watching. Again, I'm Liza Janae. Yes, the lies are absolutely necessary. Be sure to follow. I'll drop the YouTube link my YouTube channel in the comments. And last but not least, please don't forget to donate to my Astroglide fund. I would like to get some Astroglide. I want to, I don't need it, but I just want to, in honor of this trial, this crazy ass trial, let's just get the Astroglide. I'm starting the Astroglide collection, and yeah. So if y'all got any questions, just drop down in the comments. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. And I will be back tomorrow with the deets. Holla.